Oh man, what an amazing week 5 we just had of college football. We have so much to discuss. Let's go ahead and go through rankings right now of the week 6 AP poll predictions. Let's go ahead and start right on the homepage of rankingsrightnow.com. Go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already. What an amazing game that we saw with Alabama and Georgia, right? Number 4 Alabama, number 2 Georgia. Winner, according to us, was going to get the number 1 rank, and that's how we still see it. It didn't seem like it was going to be close at halftime. It seemed like Georgia had nothing in the tank ready for Alabama. A crazy, amazing comeback, back and forth in the last couple of minutes, an awesome finish. Right now, according to our algorithm, Alabama is sitting at the number 1 ranked team, which I think a lot of people would agree with, but Georgia's sitting at number 8. That might be a little too far. I think at halftime, if you would have asked everyone, what do we think that Georgia's going to be ranked? I think 8 was in the ballpark. I think that's respectable. It made sense. Not after the comeback that they had. And when you're thinking of computer algorithms, they don't take context into account, right? They're just taking the box score. Especially our algorithm is just looking at a box score and is trying to evaluate based off this score, based off where these teams are ranked, based off all these different criterias, and what was the end result of the game, where do we think that they should be ranked? That is reasonable given of that score, not with the late comeback that we saw. So do I think Georgia is going to be number 8? No, probably closer to maybe 6, maybe even closer to 5, but that's where we're at right now. Now, another big loss that we saw was Kentucky upsetting Ole Miss at Ole Miss, unranked Kentucky. Excuse me. A lot of people kind of dismissed Kentucky really early on after their really close bout with Georgia, right? It was kind of Georgia's first real test on the road for Georgia. Kentucky doesn't pull it out. They start off with a loss there. They also have a loss to South Carolina, right? And South Carolina's gone on to do some really great things too since that point in time. Kentucky probably should be in the top 25. Our algorithm has them at 22, which I think is an appropriate spot, and Ole Miss at 12, which I also think is an appropriate spot. Both of those seem like good predictions to me. We also had, just here in the last couple of minutes, Utah losing to Arizona. Now, before everyone starts getting their pitchforks and starts getting ready to come over to my house and say, there is no way Arizona is the number 13 ranked team, I completely agree with you. There's no way they're the number 13. Do they break in the top 25? Probably. They were already there a few weeks ago, lost a game, got kicked out. Got to bring them back in now. You beat a top 10 team, I think you're deserving of especially this early, you're probably a top 25 team. They only have 1 loss on the year, and that was to another ranked opponent. So that's probably the status of where they should be. Definitely not in that 13 seed, but somewhere else within the top 25. We have Louisville dropping out of the top 25. That might be a little harsh. We'll see how that goes. Illinois out of the top 25 after a loss to Penn State, which was kind of an game. There's not a lot going on there. And then Oklahoma State just doesn't seem like they have it. They're out. A couple of other key interesting factors that I think can really play into a lot of this. Clemson's starting to climb up again. If you notice that after the first game, and Georgia seems to be the main theme of all of the rankings for a lot of these teams, right? Clemson dropped really deep. Kentucky kind of couldn't break in because they had lost to them. Clemson is now showing that they're for reals. And maybe we shouldn't have been so harsh on them from the beginning that they didn't have a great second half of the first game of the year, right? Clemson is starting to make that climb back into it. Notre Dame's getting close back to the top 10 area. Mizzou kind of gets to just sleepwalk into getting put into the top 10 thanks to Ole Miss. Texas loses that number 1 spot because they just didn't play an exciting game this year, and honestly they struggled a little bit. So much to really go through. And finally, we have Rutgers breaking into the top 25. They don't have a ranked opponent until like late October. They're going to be 5-0, 6-0, 7-0 really easily. they're going to have a nice spot in these rankings. So anyways, these are our final predictions. We'll see in the next couple of hours when the AP poll releases their official rankings. We'll go ahead and break it down and see what the differences are. Go to our website, www.rankingsrightnow.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Follow us on social media. You'll get all of the information about this really cool app that helps us predict all of the cool things that have to do with college football. Thanks again for watching, and we'll check back in here soon.